Hey guys, it's Jessie here from Tonkadale, and this week we're talking about how our collector plants get from there to here. If you've been following along, you know that Hayden, Hannah, and myself were in Florida last week. We visited several of our grower vendors and were able to hand select a lot of the plants that we'll be bringing in the next couple of weeks, as well as preview the crops that are growing for us for the spring. A lot of the blooming tropicals that you're used to seeing here in the spring of summer, like your mandevillas, hibiscus, jasmine, and gardenia, they are plumping up and getting ready for you. Anyway, this process is really interesting. There are a couple of regions in Florida, especially the Homestead region and the Apopka region. Homestead is just outside of Miami, kind of more inland, and then Apopka is more central Florida near Orlando. A lot of growers are concentrated in these areas, and so one thing that's really easy to do is to combine shipments from multiple growers onto one single truck. And so there's a lot of logistics that go into planning each shipment, because you need to take a look at what's available from each grower over a specific period of time. Be able to order that at least 1 to 2 weeks ahead of your scheduled ship date. Your ship date comes, and then those plants arrive about 5 days later. So our plants out of Florida generally ship on a Thursday. So that means we need to get our order in the Thursday before. So if you're requesting like a special order, a large specimen plant, we need lots of lead time so that we can source the item from one of our growers at a reasonable price and coordinate it to get on one of our loads so we can get it here for you. So it does take a little bit of time. It's not like Amazon. Anyway, each of our deliveries does come from multiple growers. And because we were just in Florida and visited these sites, I can see here we have 5 or 6 different growers just represented in this order. And this is a smaller order for us. And these growing operations, they're not highly mechanical. There's really not a lot of automation. These greenhouses and growing ranges have been in families for multiple generations, and they're trying to keep up with the trends just like we are. So when you're really wanting a plant, it becomes popular on the internet, it's in short supply. It takes these growers some time to build up stock, and not every plant is conducive to rapid production or rapid propagation. We learned this Scindapsus trebuli is very difficult to grow. From one plant, you can get maybe just a couple of cuttings, and for those to root in and be produced to a resaleable size was taking one of the growers about a year. So you can see that the expense and lead time to getting these plants to production and to your retail shops can be quite extensive. When the shipment finally lands, we take time here at Tonkadale to unbox it, sort it, check it off the list, make sure everything is accurate, and then we also have to check the health of the plants. Trucking and shipping isn't perfect, so while we might expect our delivery to arrive on Monday, that means these plants have been packed maybe since the previous Wednesday, for sure on the truck since Thursday, and riding along up the interstate all the way to us. So sometimes when they get here, they're a little bit tired, they've been in the dark, maybe they're overly moist, maybe the reefer on the truck was too cold, too hot. This week we had a box arrive that was frozen to the floor. A couple of cases of the Geoganthus, a newer plant for us, are pretty damaged, but you know what we're going to try to do? We're going to try to salvage them by taking cuttings and repotting them into smaller sizes. So it's not always perfect. We also have to look for pests and disease. So there is a highly sought after plant right over here. I'm not going to show it to you today because when we unpacked it, we noticed some insect population that's just not at an acceptable rate for us. And we can't have you taking that home and introducing it into your plant collection when we know it's there and there's something we need to do about it. So we'll be quarantining and treating those plants, hopefully having them ready for you in the next couple of weeks. Anyway, so the plants are here. Then we gotta tag them, we gotta price them, we gotta label them. Sometimes there's some research that goes into which variety is which and the care requirements for those plants, how that gets onto the tag. Sometimes growers might label a plant one way, but we know it as another way, or the greater plant community identifies it in another way. We want to have the most accurate information, so we look for good sources for the correct nomenclature so we can be spot on with your plant ID. So now I think it's time to take a look at a few new items for you to add to your collections. Now, Please forgive me if I butcher any of these names. These are new for me too, but you know what? I'm probably better at speaking Latin plant names than I am at speaking English, and I can spell Latin plant names better than I can write the written word. Anyway, this one I'm super in love with. It's a hybrid. It's the Anthurium radicans X luxurians. And oh my, she is poppin'. We are only allowed to take 10 or 12. We hand selected the very best ones. The new growth is this gorgeous coppery color. And what I'm really drawn to is the texture on the leaf. To me, each leaf is like a fingerprint. They're all very unique and different. A really pretty red stem and a lot of detail in the veining on the back side of the leaf. A member of one of our favorite plant families, the Aroid family. And look at that, the Spadix, just in full view for all to see. So the flowers on this plant do look like what you'd expect to see on an anthurium. However, they're a little more insignificant, drawn down into the plant, and they have this beautiful pink margin and veining. I know, just be patient with me. I love bird's nest ferns, and this is a new variety I have never seen before, and of course we had to have it. It's called Hurricane. Look at it. Like, what made this plant decide to grow in a spiral? It is gorgeous. This one's definitely coming home with me because the person I live with killed dead one of my Anthurium cristatus whilst I was away. Anyway, bird's nest ferns are not as temperamental as other ferns. They're gonna tolerate medium light, drying out in between waterings, and their growth comes right out of the center. They can do no wrong. This is the Anthurium clarinervium, and it showed up just in time for all you lovers out there. Look at these cute heart-shaped leaves. The new growth is a beautiful limey green. The veining just says to me, hubba hubba, I'm here. So that one's available now at Tonkadale. We have several dozen to choose from. Here's a really good example of something showing up not exactly how we expected it to. So we ordered 6-inch hanging baskets of string of turtles. Believe me, we were in the growing range where these were grown, and the baskets we requested were thick, full all the way to the edges, dangling tendrils, and this is what showed up. So to me, this doesn't stand up to a 6-inch hanging basket price point. We're going to have to consider sizing down or growing up for you so that it's a reasonable size for the container that it's presented in. So this stuff happens too. Here's another one that was new to me. This is the leopard plant, very closely related to the Scilla that we have in from time to time. And no, it is not sick. The new leaves are this really bright yellow color, and they fade to this sagey green with all kinds of little speckles. So these are kind of a terrestrial plant. They like a lot of humidity, probably would do great in a terrarium or alongside your jewel orchids. But isn't it cute? Right, here's another one that's highly sought after. We haven't actually had it in our hands before. However, we do have it as one of our top secret office plants. This is the Ficus deltoides, or mistletoe ficus. It has a lot of the same characteristics of the Ficus triangularis. Delta, I think, is a Greek letter, and the symbol for it is a triangle. So you can see that the leaves are kind of triangular shaped. Delta in math also means change in. Change in what? I don't know. Ficus deltoides will tell you. Mistletoe fig. So cute. You can see here it was pruned or pinched off to create more branching and probably to make more propagules, to make more. Here we have the philodendron, Florida green. A lot of you plant collectors out there do collect philodendrons. What I'm really learning and experiencing about philodendrons is they really live their best lives a lot of times on a moss pole. That's where they have a chance to grow up nice and big and really express the shape of their adult leaves. The Florida green, as you can see, is a really pretty emerald green. And just by looking at this little young sprout here, you can see it wants to climb, it wants to wander. So give it the support it needs and go ahead and attach it to a moss pole. All right, that's a little bit about how the plants get from there to here. We do source a lot of our indoor plants out of California as well. The fact of the matter is, it's just a lot warmer there. We are so lucky to have this product that is produced domestically by growers that are local to the area that have passed down the love of plants through many generations of family farming and horticulture. It's really inspiring to talk to those growers and hear their story. They are hardworking folks, and they are working as hard for us as we are for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at Tonkadale for all the amazing plant shipments that are coming our way.